Tech firm Traction rolls out the country's first ever cardless teller machine that will work using a QR code. To tell us more about the cooperation network or COOPNET teller machines, we have the company's CEO and President, Cuisia, joining us live this morning. And congratulations. Welcome to Market Edge. Hi.
Hi, Mimi. Thank you for having me again. Thank you, and good morning to everyone.
All right. So, Anne, what is the CTM or COOPNET teller machine? I mean, is it going to be a combination of digital with a physical in a much smaller format?
Okay, COOPNET teller machine, or CTM, was born out of the principle of cooperation. It is a money-in, money-out machine that runs on an electronic money protocol. So it is not dependent on the uptime of the bank, so there's much less downtime. It has less contact points, no keypad to skim, no card reader to skim, and we have applied multiple factor authentication. So like if you own a smartphone, the QR code is encrypted with a time-based generator, not sent over the telco provider, so there's no third-party exposure or interception. We don't save the QR code, it expires right away, so if within few seconds your phone is stolen, the bad person cannot reuse the previously generated QR. And another important thing, Mimi, the device has multiple secret cameras for dispute reporting.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you're essentially taking out the card reading function. Instead, you're making it QR code reader. Why don't you tell us how it works? I mean, can anybody just use it? Where do I download the app? Where do I get the QR code? Do I need to apply for the QRph? How does that work?
So you could use the network of the Banknet. So like, for example, you have an AUB app. You can use your mobile app, the AUB app, and you can scan the machine for withdrawal. The CTM talks to the bank via integration with Banknet and via QRph. With that, you can receive the cash withdrawal from AUB through that machine. So don't worry, we have applied the authentication protocols that the bank network requires, hence it is secured and safe.
All right. So what's the plan? I mean, how many of these CTMs are you planning to deploy and how fast?
We are rolling out several dozens per region, starting in Visayas and Mindanao. Cooperatives and rural banks are starting to place their orders as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you think this will replace, tellers in the bank? And what's going to happen to the bank branches themselves? Because I understand that, the social impact here is you want to reach out to rural banks, to co-ops, the fisher folks and farmer folks in far-flung areas.
Yeah. So since this is more than half the price of the usual ATM, more financial institutions or even supermarkets can install this in their premises. With more access points, more convenience to more people, especially from remote areas who need to travel several kilometers away.
Mm-hmm. All right. Will you essentially be competing with Banknet, for example, with ATMs?
No, we do not aim to compete. We actually want to augment or fill the gap the other networks and e-wallet services to serve more smaller banks, the rural banks, the co-op banks, cooperatives, and other FSIs who cannot afford to install a typical ATM machine.
Mm-hmm. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned this earlier, the price of the CTM machine is just half the price of the ATM machine?
Yes, so definitely it'll be more affordable than your usual ATM machine. We can say around 60 to 70% cheaper than the price of a combined withdrawal and deposit machines.
Huh. Will it be a smaller machine in general or same size, same look as the ATMs?
So if you have a withdrawal machine and a cash machine, typically it'll be much wider, right? But this one, it would look and would appear like just a withdrawal machine, but this is an all-in-one machine.
All right. I guess the question now is, won't the rollout of more teller machines, that enable Filipinos to encash sort of be counterintuitive, considering there's a push from central banks to become a cashless society?
Realistically, I think, speaking of cashless society in the Philippines, will not happen yet in the next 5 to 8 years. What we are offering is a transition phase for us to be cashless. Using the latest technology, these machines can do something else other than dispensing and taking of cash.
That's actually my next question. I mean, are these machines going to start doing more and more than just releasing cash, but getting other things? I mean, at what point does the machine explode into other items?
Yes, definitely it can, but I can't spill all the beans yet, Mimi.
All right, and how soon? How soon?
So we are already rolling out in the Visayas and Mindanao region, but the next phase of iterations would be Q1 of next year to Q3 of next year.
Mm-hmm. You know, and all of this is rooted in a social impact sort of equation for you. Why are you focusing on rural banks and the farmer cooperatives, fisher folks? Why that segment of society?
The only reason is because we want them to stay relevant. The competition with digital banks and all the latest technologies, which these smaller rural banks don't have, allows us to provide this new platform for them to stay in the game, to provide more services to their members and customers.
Mm-hmm. You know, 5 years ago, an American company, Diebold, actually launched something very similar. No more card reading for ATMs, but instead of QR code, they were using biometrics. Could biometrics be the next key?
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned a while ago, we are using multi-factor authentication. So even cameras, you can do facial recognition, biometrics, and others. Maybe in the near future, voice recognition will also be a thing there.
All right. And final question, for those who are watching and thinking, you know, how will this fare in competition with those who are already holding GCash wallets, for example? Because they can also use their e-wallets to encash in any 7-Eleven or convenience stores. What's the differentiating proposition?
Yes, so since we are integrated with BankNet and QRph, if they have GCash, Maya, and others who are also in the loop of QRph or BankNet, they can use the machine for cashing in or topping up or even withdrawing their cash.
Ah, wow. It's a very integrated system. Exciting times ahead. We're looking forward to seeing one in the Metro. And thank you so much for joining us, for sharing this good news, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right.